I'm not really like thinking it's the best thing ever either. That was a cool picture. I'm kind of in the middle.
Okay, nice. Paul.
I didn't care.
I knew it.
But
Let's talk about a dog. Let's talk about some dogs. Let's talk about a furry dog that got
man's best friend.
today.
Superman's best friend. Yeah, why
Superman's best
Jimmy
friend.
Olsen? He's a dog now?
What?
not?
But I kind of want to get everybody's opinion. So let's kind of go around the horn of when we saw this first image and what we thought about. Starting with you, Phil.
Well, everyone who knows me knows that I'm not exactly James Gunn's biggest fanboy. That said, I did see his post about, how his dog Ozu influenced Krypto's addition to the script, and he thought it was good to reveal Krypto being a part of the movie, even though it was like one of the worst kept secrets ever, because him and Chris Pratt even joked about the fact of having Krypto in the fucking movie to begin with. I was like, I saw the post and I was like, oh, okay, that's cute. But the image itself, I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. It's All-Star Superman. And it's like, okay, that's wholesome. Like Superman and Krypto on the moon, they're fucking sharing a moment. I was like, all right, yeah, I get you, Jimmy Guns. You're doing the cute thing. More power to you. But the story about how Ozu tore up his shoes, his laptop, all that shit, I was like, yeah, well, when you adopt a dog, that very well could happen. But like I said, it was touching. It was heartwarming to see the fact he went as far as to include the dog in the movie. I'm not going to be one of those people who's going to be like, oh, it's fucking ridiculous for an alien animal to be in a movie. I'm like, I'm sorry, I've seen a talking raccoon and a fucking talking tree in a comic book film. There's nothing out of the realm of
a trash bandit
anymore. Sure. Or a rabbit, as Thor put it in the Infinity War. But what I loved about it was this isn't the typical Krypto that I'm used to. Predominantly every version of Krypto I've seen has typically been a white Labrador retriever. This one I think is more like a terrier or something like that. And he's he's got a bushier look. It almost feels like he might have modeled this version of Krypto. I've seen it in comics. They've definitely done a version of Krypto that looked like that dog in comics.
Yeah, more of an Earth-based one. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the panels run around. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I zoomed in on the image and I was like, oh, he's got the collar, even better. Just don't put the fucking cape on him. The cape is a touch too far. No cape, please. No cape on Ozu.
That's what I'm saying. All right, Chris, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I was not surprised at all. It fits within James Gunn's wheelhouse. Going for the whole thing. I'll keep referring back to it. The original title of this movie was Superman Legacy. I personally just enjoy that a canine further divided the community in the sense of, and people's like, oh, I hate this. It's going to be a talking dog. And he actually had to respond, dog's not going to talk unless you count as barking as talking,
Thank you.
And to the point of yeah, we did deal with a talking raccoon and it seemed to work out. I mean, I see your point, but I don't think we've had a talking Krypto outside of animation. Yeah. And, so I wasn't thinking that we were going to go that stretch. And who knows how long the dog's going to be there. I'm fine with it. I'm not necessarily going to be making or breaking the movie. How long is going to be in it? It's going to be Fortress of Solitude. It's going to be in Kansas. Is it going to be in the apartment in Metropolis? I don't know. Whatever. It humanizes Superman to the fact that it's something that ties him to his home world.
No, it makes sense. So. I mean, every hero needs a best friend, and why not be it a dog? All right, Nate.
Like Phil and Chris said, I don't think it's a big surprise that Krypto was going to be in it. It was pretty obvious from the start that I thought he would be in it. Even if there were no rumors that he was going to be in it, I think he would have anyway, just because Gunn loves to add the animal element into his latest movies, at least, and have that be, I guess, a driving force for the heart of the movie and just some comedic relief at times too. I know you said on your Film Junkie Live that you think he might pee on someone at some point. If that does happen, then
I hope not.
That's just a typical James Gunn thing.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. We've seen that before. Come on.
Yeah. I don't want that to happen, but I'm happy Krypto's in it. I think that's a great element to the story. I hope we see kick some ass and shoot some lasers and add to the fight and all that. I'm interested to see what, if anything, happens in this that will carry on into Supergirl with him, or if he's the one that introduces Clark to Kara at some point, because maybe he knows about Kara but Clark isn't aware of that when they meet or whatever. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with him.
Cool. All right, Austin, your thoughts?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, as much as a fan of Gunn as I am and stuff, I do agree that like the marketing for this has been like a little and stuff. And but I thought this picture was one of the better ones that they released. It kind of just lets you know what kind of Superman movie we're getting, a more kind of traditional, classic, like you said, all-star. He's got his dog and all these type of things. If there is like any comedic relief from Krypto and stuff, I think that it makes sense within that like universe and stuff. Overall, I really liked the picture. I don't really have a lot of like complaints or I'm not really like thinking it's the best thing ever either. That was a cool picture. I'm kind of in the middle.
Okay, nice. Paul,
I didn't care.
Wow.
I knew it.
But yeah, so I mean, look, logically, right? Now, first off, the picture to me,
That's your
I
first
get
mistake going logical.
but, the promo picture obviously harking back to All Star Superman, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I'm glad at least like or from what they've said so far, they're doing it from a perspective of like a dog, like he's gonna have the collar, there's no cape, he's not gonna talk, so it's just to give him that relatability and that connection to Krypton. Great, love that. On the other hand, though, and again, I don't mind the character of Krypto, but most mediums that I've watched of Superman that I've seen, the super pets don't usually play a big factor in those iterations and whatnot. I have yet to have seen anything outside of the comic books of Superman and think to myself, what would make this better? Krypto. I just never, that thought process never came to me personally. So for me, I mean, I was like, cool, I guess, in terms of just like, it's interesting that he'll be in live action, but I got no real feeling from it, like really whatsoever. I hope he's utilized very little other than like giving him maybe like a friend to see when he comes home. Cause I'm assuming him and Lois aren't like really intimate yet or whatever the case is. So it's just
fully together. Yeah. They're not living together. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause you can do that and that's fine. And then it gives that connection and stuff and, shows him to be this more relatable Superman because that seems to be what they're trying to go for and whatnot. But for me, it's just kind of a hollow announcement. Like it doesn't really mean anything to me, if it was something like Brainiac or something more like, just more substantial to what I consider to be Superman mythos, I'd be kind of more engaged. But for right now, it just feels more like a PR stunt. I think Phil said earlier, it was like one of the worst kept secrets. Like everyone kind of knew Krypto was going to be in the movie anyway. So it's like, now do we know? I'm obviously there's going to be like CGI with the dog, but I'm assuming they were going to have a real dog that's not flying around, right?
I don't know. I honestly I don't know if there's.
Yeah, I think wasn't there a set picture on set of an actual
but I
dog?
thought that was his dog.
No, there was a set
you're
photo of Mr. Terrific like getting like there's like a
there's an image of Mr. Terrific that is
Talking
interacting with
right.
something, but there's nothing there. So it's like the only interaction that we actually saw was from him.
So it's probably
nothing.
going to be kind of the same of I think what he did with the dog from Guardians 3, where it's like I mean they have
Cosmo?
an onset dog
Cosmo,
and
right?
Cosmo, yes. They have an onset dog and stuff, and then obviously when it talks or when it's doing something super.
Because you always need something because the VFX artists are on set and go
for the reference.
the lighting.
Right.
We got to get the lighting. That's why anytime you see when they have like a Hulk bust or a fucking Thanos bust, it's like, well, we got to get the lighting just right and stuff like that.
They didn't have
But,
Sean Gunn on all fours.
Yeah,
I thought that too.
That was always a running joke when it came to me. I'm like, Sean Gunn's playing Krypto, right? Yeah, as he was, doing Rocket. But
Too busy with Maxwell Lord, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. William, what are your initial thoughts?
When I first saw the picture, I'm like, okay, because he had, they had mentioned it before. I mean, I wasn't surprised given some of the characters that are being added to this movie. Of course, we're going to have the super dog. As a lifelong Superman collector type of situation, I'm a Superboy fan. I always felt Krypto was more appropriate alongside him. I have never thought Krypto had a use alongside Superman. It was perfectly written for when he was a kid, but it doesn't. I mean, the dog. I mean, it didn't move the needle for me one way or another. The discourse over it was really stupid. That's what kind of turned me off. So I kind of muted Superman's dog and I muted Krypto, so I didn't have to see it again. Because I saw people, and then all of a sudden people were doing re-edits, and now every Superman ever created was sitting on this moon with this dog, and I'm like, oh my goodness, is every announcement going to be like this? But no, I don't think. It was kind of a nice little picture, but other than that, it's didn't move the needle for me at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, what I like about it is the fact that it's not the traditional like Krypto, because everybody was thinking, oh, it's going to be like that, white Labrador or whatever. And he was going to be having the cape. And then of course they're like, oh, is he going to have him talk? And no, it's just like, hey, it's just a dog. He made him different. And I'm like, and I like the fact that Gunn was like, hey, this was inspired by a dog, my dog. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to be inspired by that. I'm like, okay, cool. And when people were like pushing back against that, I'm like, what's wrong with that? I mean, like when people are creating things, they find inspiration in their real life, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you might not like the fact that he's in there. Sure, I get that. Does it need the dog? No. But at the same time, I'm going, well, this puts butts in the seats. You release that poster as a teaser poster, and all of a sudden people see it and go, wait, there's going to be a Superman movie where he has a dog? What?
Kids love animals.
Kids love animals. Females love animals. I mean, dog lovers. I mean, that's the thing. It's like you're going to start grabbing people going, wait a minute. So you're telling me that Superman, the ultimate superhero, has a dog? And they start researching it. Holy shit, this dog is also super, and he could be doing some really crazy shit too. So if you're going to be doing a version where you need to be like, okay, we're not going to be as grounded, we're going to be we're going to be pretty comic booky, why not just, and that's why I was like saying, I was like, this should be the poster, this should be the teaser poster, because you're going to be grabbing some eyes when people pass that movie poster in the movie theater and going, what? Superman and a dog sitting on the moon? What the fuck?